Hey, welcome. This is Daryl Becker from DBCrypto.com. And right now, today, we're going to have a discussion with Chris Webb over there from anarcrypt.com. And going to be talking about Dash, the awesome profile kind of information platform out there. There's a great asset. There's an all-time high for Dashcoin right now. And yeah, Chris, I met you on the Anarcrypt Facebook group. You want to tell me a brief little bit about yourself?
Well, Canadian. Always a classically liberal person, but I tend to lean left a little bit, I guess you could say. But I've come around now. I'm full-on ANCAP all the way. Started learning libertarianism and stuff shortly after Obama was elected. Imagine that. Been about an ANCAP for about 5 years now, and then earlier this year.
Hey, for those listening, anarcho-capitalist is the expanded version of ANCAP. Just saying.
Yeah, it's a belief of stateless society, and that all human interaction should be voluntary.
Right on. So, yeah, I want to start off just basically, how did you get involved in the cryptocurrency world? How did it start for you?
Well, again, with the libertarianism and being really angry at the way things are organized right now. And when I first heard of Bitcoin back in, I guess 2012, 2013, somewhere, it sort of clicked right away, like, oh, this is a way out of this mess, this quagmire of centralized control. Took me a couple of years before I really understood it and started buying into it and whatnot. But it's as soon as I discovered Bitcoin, I realized this is our way out. This is how society progresses to the next paradigm shift, how we evolve. I'm excited about it from the very beginning.
Very beginning, like 2009.
I discovered it in like 2012 or 13, somewhere around there.
Ah, yeah. Well, right on. So, yeah, I was just going to say briefly, I discovered it just listening to various podcasts like the Corbett Report and finding out information about this white paper that was released, about a new network that was released, about this asset class that's new, basically, and it was valued in the under the pennies kind of at that point. And I listened to naysayers who were claiming this is dangerous, not likely useful. And I held off on it for far too long until finally I saw it going serious places in 2010 and tried to get some in 2011 and 12 and failed. I couldn't get anyone to sell me some Bitcoin, help me figure out how to get some, you know. That was my obstacle. Yeah, it was not easy. I had friends who were mining it, and they knew they had the know-how of how to mine it, but I couldn't get any of them to sell me even a little tiny bit of what they had mined until finally I found someone who was really nice over in New Hampshire, which is an epicenter of the anarcho-capitalist movement in general, of people who are, what I like to say, very pro-choice people, you know, pro-choice across the board, with the caveat of understanding who owns what, boundaries, ownership, and property. And then I got someone who would be happy to be my Bitcoin broker to sell me little bits of coin. And I sent as a PayPal. Luckily, I trusted them and they trusted me. I PayPal'd them money. They sent me the Bitcoin into a Bitcoin wallet. And that's how I started in 2013. And I really just didn't understand the crypto space nearly that much. Because I once owned 10 Bitcoin, you know, Chris? And when things went downhill in 2014, I thought it was time to sell almost all of it. And so I did. I also needed money. I didn't see the trajectory of where it was going.
I started shortly after that, the spike and then the crash. And I kept buying it and kept going down, and kept going down, and kept going down. I'm like, crap, am I doing the right thing out here? But I believed in the idea, so I just kept doing it. And, well, obviously it's paid off pretty well for me.
Yeah,
we're up to $6,000 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely made me a few thousands here and a few thousands there. Just, I've never had the large volume to throw into it yet. Now, so just very briefly though, because I wanted to talk about Dash. What is Dash in basic English?
Well, Dash is similar to Bitcoin, but it's some extra features that most other coins don't have. It's got the ability to do instant transactions, so you can send money and rely on it being confirmed within 2 seconds or so. It also has the ability to, it's called the private send. It's got this, you can mix coins within the protocol to obfuscate their history. So if you do run it through 8 rounds of mixing, nobody's ever going to be able to trace that money back to you. So you can spend it however you want and know that you're completely private and anonymous doing so.
All right. So, yeah, like, what's the difference? Is there any difference in the structure of the blockchain regarding Dash and, say, the other clones of Bitcoin?
No, Dash is pretty much the same as Litecoin in the sense it's got a 2.5 confirmation time on its blocks. Although they're upping it to a 2 meg block when the new dip block's in. So they've it's gonna be 2 meg block here in just a minute, and they have plans to scale all the way up to 400 meg blocks as needed.
Wow.
I guess what really separates Dash from most of the other projects, though, is the fact that it's a DAO, it's a decentralized autonomous organization. It's the first one of its kind. Head of the organization, it's an entity unto itself that anyone can be a part of. It's a permissionless system. And because of that, they have these things called master nodes, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, that was very curious to me and others. So now I understand that it's very similar to the Litecoin in its actual structure of the architecture, but the underlying architecture. Now, when it comes to something like private send, does that require a specialized wallet to do that, or is that on all Dash wallets?
It's only, you need to have the Dash core wallet for private send, which only works right now on the PC. And well, on the desktop, the browser based, or not browser, desktop based. So there's no private send through your mobile wallet yet. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Although that is coming. That is coming.
Right on. Okay, so that gives me a better idea of that. So, wait, are you one of the masternode holders then?
No, I don't have that much. I wish I was. You need to have 1,000 Dash to activate the masternode features in your core wallet. It's not like a pyramid scheme or anything. It's not like you're signed into a contract. They're not locked. But once you've got 1,000 collateral, then it shows that, hey, I'm properly vested in this organization, and so I can get some rewards for performing certain features, such as the instant send and the private send and that sort of stuff.
Right on. So for viewers and listeners, because this is going to be an MP3 as well later on, you can go out there and just look at coinmarketcap.com and scroll down. And what position is Dash right now in its market capitalization? Is it pushing 6 or something? Here, I'm gonna pull on.
It's 5th right now. This weekend has been a crazy weekend for all the coins. Dash and Litecoin have been flipping back and forth between 5th and 6th all weekend.
Right on. And so would this be called an all-time high for Dash?
Yeah. Well, it was earlier today. It's dipped a bit, but yeah, I think it hit 460 or something.
Wow.
So yeah, it had a really big spike today.
Yeah. I'm looking at my CoinCap app that right now that just like everything keeps shifting and flipping a little bit here. But yeah, Dash is definitely a number 6 and Litecoin is number 5. And that's an interesting perspective there. Because I was looking at Dash in its sale prices of under $300. Just, it seems like I remember 48 hours ago.
Oh yeah, it had a big spike this weekend.
Yeah.
Earlier in September, I think it hit 4 something earlier. So it retracted a bit, but it's back up to where it was.
So besides obviously that this is lucrative, I mean, obviously you've held holdings in Dash for a while, and now, you know, like basically, as I said, 48 hours ago, Dash was under $300. Right now, Dash is considerably over $400. What are the other things that excite you about the project? Like what things is Dash promising to do and already delivering?
Dash is really targeting to be a mainstream coin, to take over the general purpose currency. And they're doing that again, like with the instant send and stuff like that. But what Dash can do is scale as an organization. when you look at Bitcoin and all the drama going around with it, with Blockstream and just all the fighting going on about how to scale the network and stuff, Dash doesn't have that issue because of the governance system, the way they vote on how to grow the organization. So it's going to be a really stable platform as far as an organization goes. It's not going to You're not going to have all this massive infighting and everything like that. So it's when you have stability like that, it leads to growth because people want to know that it's safe what they're doing, and Dash provides safety in an investment as far as a cryptocurrency goes. And they're really, and they're also their goal is to make it easy to use. The features that are be rolling out are all targeted toward making it so that your average person, your mom, could go ahead and start using it. You won't have to know how to copy and paste an address to send. You'll just send it to a person. You'll be able to lock in names and stuff like that into the system.
Yeah, I think we can speculate on where things are going in the crypto world in the future, because already in many of our wallets, how about this? Already in several of the wallets that I'm holding, possibly some wallets that you might activate, like mobile-wise, shapeshift is built in.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to shift from one currency to another is just a feature. And at some point, they'll all be possibly even scrambled together. But for right now, tokens are separated, and tokens require their own specific wallets. That's the world we live in now. I think you covered a bunch of the benefits of Dash. My question is, can you give me any of the major criticisms of Dash and the Dash token?
Yep. There's a number. Let me get to my notes here. The biggest criticism, not the biggest, but the one that comes up all the time is when Dash was launched, they had a bug in their code, and so something like 1.8 million of the 20 million coins were mined really quickly, like within 24 hours. So there's a lot of accusations that they did this on purpose, and so that the people who got in originally hold an excessive amount of coins relative to everybody else, and that because it's a masternode system, that these guys have more say in how the network goes than anybody else because they got a higher volume of coins. You hear that one a lot. It's really blown out of proportion than what really happened. A lot of people mined at the beginning. A lot of the coins were used to pay developers and stuff, so it's been spread out quite a bit. And even then, if it is as bad as what people say, which is not, so what? They're invested in the network. They're going to make choices to improve their own value. So even if they hold a bunch, it doesn't hurt anybody. So it's just not something I worry about at all. Where am I at here? Oh, another criticism is that because Dash only does privacy through mixing, it's an advanced type of mixing. It's a lot more advanced than just plain old coin join. But they say that because it's an open blockchain, it's not truly private, it's not fungible, and that sort of stuff. But that's just not true. You can hide out in the open. You can hide things very well. It's like the way Dash mixing system works. It's like hiding a grain of sand on a beach. You throw it out there, you're just not ever going to find it. The biggest complaint right now is that the beach isn't very big, so it's not as if you use a low mixing ground and it's in a clean environment, you might be able to find something through. But as soon as the network grows, that beach grows bigger, and you'll never find a grain of sand again. So I'm not worried about their privacy.
I think when it comes to privacy, the real crypto heads pretty much know the recipe for what that is. If like present day privacy, if that's being desired, there are ways to go ahead and do that. I think that I appreciate the promise that the Dash network, is just wishing to deliver, such as having the private send feature way more ubiquitous on and available on mobile apps.
Yeah,
since
yeah, that is coming with when they created their account system, which I can talk about later if you want. One of the things they're going to have is called a cash account, and it's going to be much faster and more streamlined than the current private send is, where you just put money into this cash account and bam, it's privatized like cash. So there's no way to trace it back, and that will be across all platforms, all wallets, and everything.
And that's a lot easier than the privacy method that I'm aware of right now.
Yeah, the private send is awkward right now. It's one of the big complaints I have is that it's up until this last release of 12.2, it was really slow to mix. Sometimes to get your stuff mixed. and that's not functional.
So to talk about the to talk about the privacy methods using crypto that I'm aware of, I would need to mention Monero. Could you just give the audience a clear idea of your understanding of Monero?
Well, Monero is a privacy-centric coin. That's its sole purpose, is to provide private transactions. It uses what's called ring CT, which is ring mixing. I don't really understand it that well, but it's a type of mixing. But it uses like fake addresses, so nobody can tell who has what. And then they use CT, which is confidential transaction, which hides the amounts that are being sent and stuff like that. And then the entire blockchain itself is hidden. So it really is the most absolute private coin available right now. But it has some drawbacks because of this. It has high transactional overhead. There's more cryptography involved. You have higher fees. It's going to be slower to confirm, that sort of stuff. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very successful coin, but in a selected market. Whereas I think where Dash is going to be a more successful coin in a broader market. I think that's the difference between the two.
That is a good difference. In fact, I think of right now, Dash works, in the non-private kind of function as a farmer's market cash, something that would transact fairly quickly and is easy to hold and move in your little mobile wallet, basically.
Yeah.
But I see that Monero is a bit more of like the complicated. I really want to make sure that all of these assets go through 2 Monero wallets from one to the other, and then shapeshift back out to whatever type of currency that I want. And now it's private.
Yeah, that what you just described right there is the best way to hide your money or clean your money if you wanted to, and that's shapeshift into Monero to Monero, and then come back out of Monero. If you do that, you're absolutely private. There's nothing coming back from that.
That's what I was thinking. But here's a question. Do you know much about Zcash? What is Zcash as a coin?
Yeah, Zcash is also a privacy-centric coin, but it doesn't use mixing of any sort. It uses what's called ZK proofs, ZK snarks, and it's a type of cryptography that is zero knowledge. So you can prove you own something without letting people know how you own it. I don't really understand the cryptography. That's beyond me. But it's really experimental technology. It's very exciting. It's if with Zcash you can do both private and unprivate transactions similar to Dash. It's an optional privacy level. You can shield your transactions, and when you shield your transaction, it's as private as Monero. The really only caveat with Zcash is it's still so experimental, can it be broken? And if you break that cryptography, you break the privacy of the coin. And that can happen to Monero to some extent. I doubt it would ever happen. I think our computer or processing power is anywhere near in this type of encryption. So I think both Zcash and Monero are. There's no risk of them being decrypted, I don't think.
Not at present level of computing, as far as I know. And as soon as something like quantum computing happens, I would suspect a quantum blockchain and quantum token will also be launched.
Yeah, that's true. But this is one of the advantages of the Dash privacy is that it's not encryption. It's done through obfuscation, through mixing. So there's nothing to decrypt to break. So once you've mixed it, it's never coming back. You don't have to worry about it being broken in the future.
This is going to be both over the head of various listeners and viewers, and it's also going to be super intriguing because it's like, I'll just take your word for it. That's the way it works. Here's something that I didn't throw down as the questions, because you see Chris over here, he got all of his questions ahead of time. Like at least a good week ahead of time. But this question you didn't hear is, what would you say for your top 5 like really favorite coins right now that you got your eyes on and possibly in wallets?
Well, obviously Dash is probably my first choice. I'm not really sure what to think about Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash at this moment. I don't know how it's going to settle down. As far as more I don't say obscure, but lesser known projects would be, I'm really interested in BAT, the basic attention token, which is designed to revolutionize the way advertising works on the internet. It's a potential game changer. I really like Library, LBRY, and that's that's a social, I mean, a content sharing platform. It's kind of like BitTorrent with content addressing. They're really targeting like YouTube and stuff. You know, with YouTube, they're doing all their censorship and crap. If you run a gun channel, they'll demonetize you, that sort of stuff. With LBRY, it's immutable. It's a blockchain based protocol. So you can, and anybody can develop their own applications for it too. You don't have to use the LBRY application. I'm really excited about that one because that's freedom of speech right there. Is LBRY. That one's very exciting to me. I don't know what else off the top of my head. Mysterium is potentially pretty cool, and it's a decentralized VPN service. Right now, I run I just, as of today, actually, I just changed from private internet access over to NordVPN. One of the reasons I did that is because private internet access is US based. And if you're US based, well, the government can come and stick its nose in your business and issue a gag order, and they can intercept all transactions, and you can't say, or communications, and they can't say anything about it because of this gag order. NordVPN is based out in Panama, but that still has that centralized aspect to it. So now you introduce something like Mysterium, where you can have a VPN that is completely decentralized, and there's no way it's ever coming back to you. It's a ways off. It's still fairly early in development.
Mysterium.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are things that hit my radar, but I didn't really go that deep into the investigation of it. So I kind of really appreciate that. And when I give my coin advice, I'm just naming things in the top 20 market cap often.
Yeah,
that's like often what I'm doing, and because I'm looking for stability, and I'm kind of a conservative hodler investor and consultant, and I understand that's where I'm living right now.
Yeah.
But when it comes to speculation, I love speculating on things like BAT and LBRY, and I've even gone so far as to think about acquiring Funfair and other really other absurd gaming ones. There's so many coins out there. I'll just put a little plug out there for those of you who want a multi-wallet, easy to use thing. Exodus.io. It's an excellent little multi-wallet, easy to use for mom kind of thing. Yeah, Coinomi.
That's the one
is another one where you have a humongous list of coins available. That's for mobile and such. And when you have all those options, you get to go to each of their websites and start checking them out and start to investigate. Yeah, those are. There's one more hidden question for you. Do you write on Steemit? And what do you think of the Steemit platform?
Yeah, I do write on Steemit. I've got an Anarcrypt account, but I haven't been writing there. I recently joined another group called Procryptics, and I've shifted my writing over under their banner now. So yeah, Procryptics, PROCRYPTIX. And so I write under that banner. I try to do an article. I'm supposed to do every week, but it's more like every 2 weeks. I don't really get it out written that fast.
Nice.
Right now I've been focusing more on privacy. Is kind of the direction I've been taking.
Privacy as a function, as a value to deliver,
as a way to protect your assets, right? And how to stay private on the internet. The last article I wrote or I published was on a little bit about VPNs, what browsers to use, what plugins to use, that sort of stuff to prevent people from snooping in on what you're doing online. The next article I've got coming out is on about the different privacy search engines like Startpage and DuckDuckGo and that sort of stuff.
Nice. So we're coming to the close of our little production here today. I guess this is a great time to basically give a nice plug for Anarcrypt and Procryptics. Just tell me all about them.
Not a lot to tell. Anarcrypt was started, I think it was April 1st, maybe it's March 1st. I don't know, earlier this spring. And it was I just wanted a Facebook group that was different than all the other ones. Most of the other ones they were kind of bland. And obviously there's a lot of good ones, but a lot of the ones they were kind of boring. So I just started this group with some like-minded people. Seth Michaels is the co-founder with me. And just created this Facebook group. It really took off. It's not the biggest member count. I think we've got 2,700 members, but it's a really good group. We got really good interactions and debates and whatnot on there, and people generally behave themselves.
Generally,
generally. I mean, we get a few people every once in a while who step outside, you know, a little too far, but it's no big deal. It's, you know, groups need dynamics like that.
Yeah. So no, that's cool. But tell me about Procryptics. What's the business, and what do you guys produce?
I'm the junior member. It was started by Johnny and Donnie Ledson and Donnie's son Eric, and they're coders, and so they're doing smart contracts, trading bots. Eric wrote a like a lottery for Steam, and I'm not even sure how it works, to be honest. They're developing a trading auction for real estate for a client. So they're doing smart contract based stuff like that, and then I just sort of. I'm a junior partner. I just write for them. I do some research and say, hey, we want to know about this crypto. What do you know about it? And I'll go out and, you know, research all the information. And so I'm a minor member in it.
Nice. Well, I'm going to encourage all the viewers and listeners out there to go check these places out. Actually, Anarcrypt is where I will send less troublesome cryptocurrency clients of mine. Those who I would say who understand property rights. How about this? Who understand ownership boundaries and property as essential to reducing conflict and respecting the choices of everyone else, so that there's no room for anyone who promotes legislation and monopoly-based government solutions. And I send people who understand all of that, I'll send them there. For other people, my other clients, I'll send them to Cryptocurrency Collectors Club for beginners, because honestly, a lot of my clients are beginners. I consider myself like only one step ahead of my clients, unfortunately, right now. And I actually am collecting consultants like you, Chris. I'm collecting folks who are proficient in really understanding more of the base mechanisms and seeing a lot more possibilities. You know, those who can say, you know, at a certain point, Chris, I'm ready to send you a client who's like for consulting at certainly triple digits prices per hour for sure. So hopefully that'll be fun. I'd love for you to, I'd love for you to say, Daryl sent me so many clients, I just got to get rid of this IT job. You know?
I'm working. That's the goal. It's a good job, but it's not really what I want to do. I want to do this.
Exactly. This is where it's fun. Actually, this is pretty much how I make my main bread and butter right now. Cryptocurrency consulting and similar work. I started making way more than I made as an acupuncturist. So that's why I'm here. Yeah. And that is pretty much it. It's been great talking to you, and I hope we can make another production at some point later on this year.
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me.
Right on. Everyone out there, wish you a great day.